This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Listen, this is Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry. C.A. Newry still in Long Island, right? C.A. Newry said he had to go check out his beach, Newry Beach, recently discovered. I said all kind of treasure in Long Island ain't get discovered yet. And then he said, listen, I heard BTVI has expanded, right? Its accessibility throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And they have 7 campuses now throughout the archipelago, New Providence, Grand Bahama, and other family islands. So he said before he come back to Nassau, he going to go see if they have a BTVI down there. He want to know what type of mutton technology they developing down in Long Island. Newry could be back soon. But until then, I want you guys to stay tuned to Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry, but also stay tuned to Guardian Radio after the 6 p.m. news for live coverage of the Golden Isles by-election. All your weekday Guardian Radio hosts will be here as the results come in and until a winner is declared tonight on Guardian Radio after the 6 p.m. news. All right. Newry, I let the people know where you is. You better bring me back a mutton from Long Island, buddy. All I want is one mutton. But joining me in studio today, I have representatives from BTVI. Now, I know I told you guys we will maybe do a little by-election talk in the second hour, right? But what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to show you all. The rules have changed. They've relaxed slightly. But I'm still not sure of the scope of the rules. Me personally, I do in my endeavor best to stay within the rules, right? So I'm going to read quickly the public notice issued by IRCA in relation to, right, the regulations governing this space, and I'm going to read a bit of the actual provision in the regulations, and then we're going to transition to our show. We ain't going to talk by election until after my guests, okay? But I'm going to give you all this. Public notice, political broadcasts and political advertisements and applicability, IRCA, 23rd of October, 2025. The Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority issues this notice in accordance with Section 8(1)(e) of the Communications Act 2009. The Commonwealth of the Bahamas will hold a by-election in the constituency of Golden Isles in New Providence on the 24th of November 2025. In preparation for the advanced poll and election day, IRCA reminds its broadcast licensees of the revised Code of Practice for Content Regulation, ECS 78/2024, known as the Code. Specifically, Part 6, Political Broadcasts and Political Advertisements, and Part 1, Interpretation, Purpose, and Applicability. Part 6 of the Code sets the standards applicable to the broadcast of political advertisements and election programs, both preceding and during a parliamentary general election. Part 1 of the Code sets out its applicability, particularly to online content disseminated by broadcast licensees. Specifically, IRCA reminds its broadcast licensees of their obligation to comply with the provisions of the Code relative to public broadcasts and political advertisements on advance polling day, election day, by-election day, and referendum day until the close of all polling stations, as well as the provisions of Part 1 of the Code concerning its applicability to licensees' online content. All right? So y'all keep coming, oh, you don't let us talk about this, or you don't let us talk about that. You have a political bias. In many instances, it's not a bias, it is hosts attempting to navigate the regulations that exist. Even this little mic and my little jokes are governed by regulations, right? So we go quickly to the Code of Practice for Content Regulation, revised IRCA. And you could search all of these things online and read them for yourselves. Part 6, political broadcasts and political advertisements. 6.7, prohibitions on polling day. 1. Licensees shall not broadcast the following to the public within any programs on advanced polling day, election day, by-election day, and referendum day until the close of all polling stations. A. The results or purported result of the voting in a constituency or electoral district before the close of all of the polling stations in that constituency or electoral district. B. The results of any opinion poll. C. Any political advertisements, political broadcasts, or any other election programming produced by or on behalf of a candidate, political party, or other person or entity. 2. The prohibition in subsection 1 also applies in cases where polling stations in any constituency remain open after the mandatory scheduled time for poll closure due to an extenuating circumstance. 3. Notwithstanding the prohibition in subsection 1, IRCA may exercise its discretion and permit licensees to broadcast to the public on any polling day the matters listed in subsection 1 where the relevant extenuating circumstance persists for a period exceeding 24 hours since the originally scheduled closing time of the polls. The Code of Practice for Content Regulation produced by IRCA can be found online. You just search public notice, can also be found online. Also, links are available through the IRCA website. Right? It's important to know these things so you could know the rules that are governing the space that you are operating in. Yeah, I have an itchy cut button finger. I designate this finger. I train this finger. But that is because we're governed by rules larger than our own opinions. Yeah? And so today is by-election day. We're going to speak with caution. We're going to measure our speech. We're going to measure our words. And if we are not certain, we're going to wait until we are certain. Yes, you have the right to speak. You have a freedom of expression. But with that freedom of expression comes a responsibility to ensure that you are not creating harm or prejudicing justice with your speech. Okay, now that we put that on the table, I've got guests in studio from BTVI. We will not be entertaining any by-election questions, conversation during this segment. We're talking about some opportunities. In fact, I got a word from BTVI. They're on the road to 77. And I need to know what the 77 means. Is it 77th anniversary? Are you all about to give me 77 brand new courses? Will you tell me what's happening at BTVI? Because from I heard that you guys now have 7 campuses across the archipelago of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I say y'all doing big things. We need to know. More importantly, young people need to know. They need to know what's available for them in their own country. So good morning, ladies. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. And I guess tell us, where do we begin on the road to 77?
Good morning. Thank you for having us. I am April Burrows. I am the head of the fashion department. I've been head for almost 5 years now, and we have really been doing some great things at BTVI, especially in the creative areas. So I represent fashion, and my colleague.
Hi, good morning. My name is Alexia Coakley. I'm the former HOD, head of department for electronics and media technology. Very excited to be here. I also represent a segment of our instructors who are adjuncts, who come from industry, who come in and ensure that students are getting the instruction from those persons who are actually out there doing it. And we're so happy to be a part of this experience that we share, you know, and the exchange of learning that takes place at BTVI. It's an exciting time. BTVI is celebrating its 77th year of existence. I think that's from 1949. There's been training.
What, wait?
Yes, so 1949.
No, because you're right, 77 is time. BTVI is an established educational and vocational institution in the country.
And now accredited.
And
Don't
now-
forget that.
Hold on, and now accredited.
Internationally
And now
accredited.
available across the archipelago.
Absolutely.
Okay, so What's new at BTVI? Fashion, electronics and media technology. I already have 700 questions for each of you. But what else is new? What are some of the courses available that young people may not expect to see at BTVI?
Well, BTVI always seeks to ensure that our courses are available to equip Bahamians to meet the ever-changing demands of what our society sees. You're seeing programs in solar technology. The beauty trades are always a growing segment. Persons want to know how they can, easily get the tools necessary to be entrepreneurs. There's a wonderful expansion going on in the business trades, persons who are needing to tool up to advance in their careers, That's another fast-growing area.
And so that's like continuing education and professional certification and training opportunities
Absolutely.
for people who want to enter the sort of business realm or who want to grow their skill set.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you see people from various professions who want to skill up in a particular area. Who, for instance, you have professionals who say, I always wanted to be an electrician and learn how to, do this sort of thing. And they're coming in, and opportunities are there in every area for growth and development.
I just thought about how important it is for business owners and managers, right, to create an environment where there's sort of clarity and coherence, right? So, because as a worker, I want to know if there's potentially a new avenue being opened up in the company so that now I have enough time. Because as soon as you start saying, listen, guys, in 3 years, we are thinking about, we're thinking now about expanding into this space. I got to get on the phone to BTVI right now and say, listen, send me a fact sheet with all of the courses you have available in business. Let me see what here I could use to grow my resume for the company I am in and either help them make this expansion or be available for that job when they do make the expansion.
One of the wonderful things is that in each department, we have OAC committees. So it's our Occupational Advisory Committee.
Okay.
And these people are hand-selected. They're from the industry of each of the departments. And we meet with them several times a year, and we really get into what the program is, what industry is requiring, not just now, but the future.
Right.
And so we have an opportunity to make adjustments to our programs, make adjustments to our syllabus, engage them to come in and workshops and training and talks, and let us know what's going on in the industry so that we are in sync. We're not teaching or training our students to do something that's not needed
or
anymore.
going to be going to be obsolete,
Obsolete,
in 7
exactly.
years. Right.
I think one of the things that BTVI can truly boast is that the equipment and technology being used for instruction is industry standard today in many, many areas. And in many cases, it's ahead of it.
All right, so
we're very proud of that.
I was going to mention, because it seems like you have a continual feedback loop, right, with industry professionals. So you know how industries are expanding, so you can prepare courses for that. And then they know what courses are available so they can supply businesses with that information. But it seems like this relationship with the professional sector is broader than just that aspect. Can you talk about the ways in which you build relationships with industries and professionals to grow capacity at BTVI for the institution and for the students?
Well, just a little bit to elaborate on that, as HOD Burroughs just said, a big part about the culture of the exchange is these committees that are established. And another thing is through BTVI's instruction is bolstered by a lot of adjunct instructors that come from industry who, they work in the professions every day. And so what this has done is it's created a natural bridge to employment for our students because they're not only learning, they're building up their network, they're getting exposure that they wouldn't typically get in a typical academic setting. And when you look at the rate of employability of persons who actually jump into industry and into lucrative careers as a result of their training and networking and experience with the people. When they graduate, they get the skills. They also have a network of people that they know, so doors are opened immediately for them. And this bridge between, with the OACs, the committees, industry tells BTVI what they need, and they're able to pivot and constantly evolve the programs to ensure that they're meeting that demand.
Because I can imagine that by first day on the job in the auto parts store, right? And the people come in with the part and the piece of paper and it written down, and he go get the part, and then he give it to them, and they come back 2 hours later, this part don't fit. And because he didn't have the experiential knowledge that, yeah, people can bring you in part numbers, but that doesn't mean that is the actual part in that particular make and model that was sent to this particular region, right? That's something I only learned after 3 weeks of trying to buy parts for people, right?
That's right.
And so working with adjunct people who are in the industry gives you an insight that you can't get unless you've been apprenticing or working.
I was going to say also with internships. So I know with the fashion department, this semester actually we have reestablished our internship program. And so we had a student that went to Bahama Handprint, and she was there and she put in 160 hours. And I mean, the experience was just amazing. And so we've partnered with Bahama Handprint. We've done a project with Breezes Super Club. So our students have made, I think to date, 200 shirts, uniform shirts for Breezes.
Hold on. If this relationship between Breezes and Bahama Handprint don't result in the Moo line, you can't be talking about Breezes and Bahama Handprint and you ain't making the world's. I need Moo with pockets. I need the Moo where when I get rush out, you get the call. Grammy, you get the call. Mommy, listen, I gotta stay late for this meeting. You could go pick up the kids. And you in your favorite moo. Imagine if you could just snap up the inside of the moo and turn them into legs, and then they get the pockets
I think you need to
inside.
come and roll in a course because you have a lot of great ideas.
I come in. I'm so ready for this moo life.
And let me tell you, we have students who are nurses. We have students who are they're embarking on their second careers, and they've always wanted to design and sew. We have more male to come in. We have a tailoring program that is, we have amazing tailors, instructors.
Because nurses working every day in that hospital setting, they understand the functionality of the space, right? And so, yes, nurse, make that blanket. I just saw they had one blanket where you could put your feet in it. It's like a backwards robe, and you could put your feet in it.
Like a snuggie.
But the nurse can design something that is both comfortable and functional and safe. That's the third boat. And safe for a patient in the hospital
That's
setting.
right. Yeah. It's really about empowerment. You're empowered with the tools necessary to follow up on these creative things that just go. The Bahamians are perhaps some of the most creative individuals you can find on the planet. So now when you talk about making skills and training available, most students who come to BTVI, did you know there is no tuition once they apply for a tuition grant? Unless it's a specialized course, the education is available. You apply, you come in, and we really get you on the ground.
Hold on, what's the age? What's the age maximum?
Oh, we have a 70-year-old in our program.
Yeah. 70 years.
And I think actually she completed the fashion design program probably twice, and she's now in auto mechanics.
Yeah.
And so we have students who cross over different departments, from fashion to business, from beauty to electronics. We have a fashion student who graduated and went into carpentry. And so once you're there, honestly, you can be a lifelong learner.
I won't call it cross-contamination of ideas, right?
That's right, because it's continual learning, and because that the opportunity is there and you're exposed to that. And when you come on our campuses, you're talking about environments that are alive with enthusiasm and, people talking about, but what you doing over there and how does that relate to that? Even in media technology, this semester I have an introductory course that I'm teaching. I have 2 students from high school in my class, 15-year-olds, who are coming to BTVI at night in what we call the dual enrollment program.
All right.
And they come and they're being exposed to the learning that other students are getting. And it's an amazing thing because you'll say, well, how does a 15-year-old fit with adults in an adult learning environment? But once you reach that chord of engagement, it's amazing. Like, I'm blown away. The only thing I say to some of them by 8 o'clock at night, some of them I say, now, time for y'all to go to bed because you had a long day.
Yeah.
Right? But it's truly an exceptional experience to see how engagement takes place even at that age. And there are opportunities for that. So these students will graduate with college credit in an accredited institution that whether they stay local or they go abroad, they have something that's tangible that's pushed them or propelled them on their academic journey. It's fantastic.
Mr. Strawn, I get go enroll. What class the 70-year-old woman in? That's the one I want to be in.
Well, she's now in auto mechanics.
Damn it.
But she completed the fashion
No, we
design
could do
program.
that. See, because me, her, and Avi, we're gonna make a suit for men that, like, when you going on a ghost move and I hit the button, you can't ghost move no more, right? But it could
It
be
becomes a straight jacket.
right. It could be
right.
hybrid, right? Because then when you be out
And
in a
connect to the car.
and a fancy, yeah, there you go. When we out in a fancy event, right? And you looking sweet in your suit, sir. And I see the other women. I can hit a button and the whole suit camouflage. We can't see you no more.
That's
You better
right.
copyright that immediately.
They're telling you. And then the high tech we go into. She in automotive now. We can hit when we hit the button on the car. You know, you don't be in this car when we leaving. What gonna happen to the suit? It could turn into a pumpkin. Oh man, listen. But it's the collaboration of generations of experience, of passion, right? Let me tell you something about older Bahamian people. They gonna let a young person inspire them. You think
Oh,
they
yeah.
could sit in a room with all that young energy and not try to be as good as they are? They have to, and they do it for the young
They
people.
feed off each other. I see it
Yeah.
I see it every day. They feed off each other. They can't wait. Where is young Jay? He's not here today. Y'all call him, find out where he is. Like it's very. We really become a family.
Yeah.
There and the same camaraderie that's in New Providence. It's in Grand Bahama and some of the other family islands that we have sites at. So.
Awesome. So let's get to enrollment dates. When is the next cohort of classes starting? Where do I go to see what's available? What is required for me to enter a course, and all the other details.
Well, BTVI, when you're in the degree programs, operates on a semester system, right?
All right.
So there's ongoing enrollment, but the new semester will begin in January, right? And so the application period, if you're a brand new student, may be nearing closure because we're getting to the end of the year. But call the school, go online immediately and see what's available. And then you also have these specialized short courses that you can enroll in all the time.
Okay.
All the time. So but what
5
I
weeks,
always,
6 weeks, I think up to
Yeah.
8 weeks.
All right.
and so what I always say to people when they inquire, call right away, get yourself in the system, apply, get accepted, and then the gates open. You get an opportunity to select a path of study or just even see what's available. I always encourage people, get in early, call our registrar, our registration department and admissions department. They are there and they will advise you and give you all of the tools. And then the next thing would be orientation at the end of the fall, like right around now, soon, you'll be hearing where students are being called throughout the country to connect with us in a hybrid manner or in person to get an idea of what's to be expected, what's coming up next semester. And just at the start of the new year, there's another opportunity yet to get started. There's rolling enrollment, so you could always,
Listen, I didn't even know what y'all was talking about today. Y'all hear that plastic? I like plastic bag with things in it. This is a sky pot. This comes from the mahogany tree.
Wow.
We got mahogany trees all over New Providence. So this is what the fruit of the mahogany tree looks like. And if you hear it, it's hard, right? There's a hard outer carp. And then on the inside, it has leaves that are medicine or can be used to make jewelry throughout the world, right?
I have a friend, Chevy, who makes jewelry out of the pods.
Oh, no, not a friend Chevy.
Oh, the Chevy.
The Chevy.
The Chevy from Chevette Williams Jewelry.
Right. And I come into BTVI, right, because now we all know the value of mahogany. We know that Bahamian mahogany and I think Brazilito have been used throughout the world in halls of education, academia, and in some homes that we'll never know about, right?
right.
I sure my cousin, the king, got some Bahamian wood and stone somewhere.
Definitely.
But I come into BTVI to see what I could do with my, like I may not be ready for the mahogany, for planks of wood, for flooring and for siding, but I got some sky pods, right? Like I got some wood here, some hardwood. I come in to see what I could do with them. They're everywhere, right? And people just don't know about it. Like, do you all have a course like that where it is sort of an introduction to ideas, like identifying local resources, and then the class is figuring out what you could do with them. And then the next class is doing something with them.
Well, we have an accessory class, a program, accessory making program. And so in that we cover a little bit of jewelry, some handbags, we work with straw, and basically the instructor will bring many different materials.
Okay.
And we figure out what we're going to do with it. We
So
make
you're already
different
doing
things.
that?
So
I tried to test them, audience. There's teachers, I tried to test them. They on their game.
Yeah.
BTVI is doing big things on the road to 77. When we get back, we're going to walk through some of the certification courses that are, the short courses that are available, some of the long courses that are available, and the 7 campuses. Let's identify the 7 campuses and some of what's going on there. You guys stay tuned. This is Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. We'll be right back.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Join the Bahamas Heart Association for its inaugural golf tournament, proudly presented by Visa and Fidelity Bank on Sunday, November 30th at the spectacular Royal Blue Golf Club. Every swing brings hope and healing to young hearts. Gather your team and play with purpose or make a donation. Tee off for tiny hearts, because every heartbeat deserves a chance. For more details, contact the Surfing the Sassoon Heart Foundation at sassoonheartfoundation.org.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
1 in every 4 Bahamians face some level of food insecurity. AML Foods remains committed to helping, and this year, through our Feed 5,000 program, will donate $50,000 to provide holiday meals for families in need. But we need your help. From November 3rd to December 17th, show your support and donate at the register at Solomon's, Cost Right, Fresh Markets, Eleuthera Markets, Exuma Markets, or Domino's Pizza in New Providence, Grand Bahama, or Exuma. Together, let's put an end to hunger.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. Just as we were going to the break, I showed my guests a sky pod from the mahogany tree. And then I say, hold on, Aaron, maybe you should tell them. Did y'all know that the sky pod is the other name for Madeira bark, which is in our catalog of bush medicine? Right? And so, like, this is just another thing sitting here that has multiple, like, layers of use. These can be used for medicine, bush medicine. In India, the inner carp, it's like a piece of paper. I mean, you could go online and search. This is a common medicinal product throughout India. We just playing. So, 7 campuses. Tell me, which campus waking with coconut? Which campus waking with coconut? Because I would wear a dress if it was made out of coconut cloth.
You need to come and visit our campus and our department, because we have students in there working with dry banana leaf, and creating beautiful sculpture like wearable art.
Okay.
We really just on the cusp of what we can do. And for right now, we're in our the fashion programs are in New Providence and hybrid in Grand Bahama.
Okay.
But we are about to expand even more. Some of the other sites, so we have New Providence campus, Grand Bahama, North Andros, help me out.
Moores Island.
Morris Island. You have Greencastle in Luthra.
Hold on, Greencastle in Luthra?
That's right. Greencastle
Okay,
in Luthra.
I like it.
Campus. Exuma,
All right.
I believe.
We have 2 campuses in New Providence, right? Or just one?
Just the principal campus
Okay.
at Old Trail
All right.
in New Providence. And, another exciting thing is that BTVI has recently announced the plans for its new and a completely new developed campus that is coming soon. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that. But the site has been identified. The intention is to create something that can truly, truly equip the trades for the future.
Yeah, man.
Because we've ran out of space a
Absolutely.
long time ago.
And the talent is there. I know a boy who, from Johnson Road, who is got to be still the best mechanic that ever was in the country ever. His name is known as Tiny in Johnson Road. And this boy took 2 wire hangers and put together a tire that lasted 2 months. I ain't saying it was my tire. I just saying that we have a lot of skill out there that needs to be moved through a professional certification program so those people can extract the most value from their skill set and expand what they know and provide the most value possible to their customers.
And not only, by having this, these certifications and programs available, we get to standardize what really happens in industry here. There's so much talent out there, but again, what is really required to ensure that you get the level of execution and service when you hire a tradesperson? And BTVI has done a lot to ensure that, when you have that mason that comes on the job, they are equipped. And a lot of these programs, I think a lot of people don't know, students are getting soft skills as well. They have to do speech, they have to do gen ed courses like English and math. They
You have to be able to create an invoice.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to. When you're talking with that customer, you have to ensure that they understand what
be
you're
articulate,
saying. Like you say, no, ma'am, I need you to pay for this voice.
Yeah. And skills training is a big part of that.
Yeah, and making your customer feel comfortable that they can trust you, right? Like these are all the little soft, and then that's the best part about, I think, interacting with people in the industry and older students as well, right?
That's right.
Like there's that experiential knowledge, they know how to deal with mom. They know how to, and when I say they know how to deal with mom, they know how to deal with customers who do not have an automotive literacy.
Exactly.
They don't know what car parts are called, right? When you say, ma'am, can you tell me what's wrong with the car? She says, I don't know. Just go, right? She doesn't know to say, listen, I think it could be the starter.
Yeah.
And when I'm starting the car, right? Like these are things that make the difference between a successful tradesman and a struggling tradesman.
That's right. We have to make sure that, and I think the beautiful thing about accreditation internationally as well, it ensures that we're using internationally accepted practices that inform the way we do business. And,
All right.
and so that we can stand toe to toe. We know we can do it, because we have that makeup, right? But we know that our students, we're being held accountable to ensure that they can stand toe to toe with anybody in the world when they go out there and say and show their certificate or degree from BTVI. And we're so proud of that.
All right. Caller, I see you there. The producer will get to you in a moment. And then I found the campuses. Inagua is not the only best kept secret in the Bahamas. So we've got the New Providence main campus, and then we have the Grand Bahama campus. We have the the Grand Bahama branch campus, Abaco Extension campus, Eleuthera Extension campus, Exuma Extension campus, Moores Island Instructional Service Center, North Andros Instructional Service Center. Oh, this is This is awesome. All right, now Moores Island.
That's my family. That's my family. My family's from. My mother's from North Island.
So y'all could run, and now y'all just want to be the best at everything. All right,
but let me tell you, they just cannot get enough. When enrollment opens, they want to be in every program. You have students there who have completed probably 2 or 3 programs already, and they just want more and more and more. And so it's so great to be able to offer to that tiny village, off the mainland.
And can you imagine what they're doing with those skills?
Listen, let's go to the caller.
We gotta go.
And then I can put on my Inspector Gadget hat and imagine. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. You there?
Yeah, good morning, Miss Green. Guess how you doing?
Good.
Wait a minute. I actually guess if they offer boat making classes, right? In BTVI, because you know how much they pay for boat and key and the Florida Keys. Yeah, you can make all kind of money from that. I mean, people mightn't be. You ain't ever gonna be a doctor or a lawyer or a politician, but boat making, you can make millions from that.
Yeah, and how important and vital boat making is to an archipelago, not just an archipelago of archipelagos, right? Because you could be in Eleuthera and never leave Eleuthera and still not touch every island in Eleuthera's archipelago, right? I mean, how
surrounded by water.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to ask the ladies right now. Good morning, ladies. When are we opening our boat building extension campus?
See, this is exactly why it's so important to connect with the industry and with people, because there's absolutely a need for that. And we know that there's a strong tradition of boat building throughout our country. I mean, if you see the things that happen in the Abacos, in Eleuthera, Long Island, and so on. And so this transfer of knowledge creates opportunity. So while today there may not be a structured boat building program, we can now take this information back to the campus and say, hey, there's some people out there who really want to do this. How do we connect industry with instruction to make that possible?
I have half the raw material. I walk in straight by Sac. I gonna pull up one of them mahogany tree right in their driveway, and I walk in that the Montague dock. I can start my work right at Montague ramp, right there. No, because I mean we have the resources, right? It's just a matter of organizing ideas, institutions, and putting the right people together.
And, like you say, putting the right people together and creating a culture where transfer of learning and continual education is not only something we talk about, but we continue to do. This administration, BTVI's executive, they are committed, and they've proven it. From the time when I saw the Ministry of Education take on the name to include technical and vocational education, it's said in a very bold way that the trades will not be left behind. And so with that being the case, I think anything is possible, because we're realizing that these hands we have, we know they're gifted. How do we empower them to go into the various sectors and really be equipped, not only to provide for us, right, but to be able to provide and build this nation?
And hey, caller, I come into you right now. To understand that we have we're so close to greatness. You know what they make Rolls-Royce upholstery with? Same coconut in your backyard.
What?
The same coconut in your backyard is what they make Rolls-Royce upholstery with. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and good morning to the guests in studio.
Morning.
Good morning.
Let me put this conversation into the stratosphere. Just think slightly outside the traditional, but also to add some incentive on in looking at future aspirations that we can aspire to. And that is, have we looked into industries in terms of, we have the largest maritime registry in the Caribbean or this side of the world? Have we considered really getting the experts probably on our land in Grand Bahama to get into shipbuilding? Have we considered submarine building? Have we considered aircraft building? Having courses from BTVI and UB students, perhaps for the future. We got Aisha Bow, who has created she sparked the imagination of so many young people in this country. Have we gone to that level to stop thinking traditional and actually aspiring to a higher level by bringing persons who are already in the industries here to the Bahamas and finally get some money pumped into this country for the benefit of Bahamians to the level that we would like to see it. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very, very much, caller, for that contribution. Let's go to the next caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Aaron Grant, and good morning to your lovely guest. I'm just wondering, first of all, doctors and lawyers can learn extra skills in the professional, but I'm wondering if you and you're going to have a full online course that do a number of courses, and plus AI. AI is very important for the future. Everything is going to be AI, even electronics. So you could answer that question here and go in, then I'm going to hang up.
I still looking at how you call them lovely and not me lovely. So, emerging technologies, AI.
Absolutely. You know, I think the success of any institution, but particularly BTVI, requires that it is constantly looking for the next opportunities for instruction and development. And AI, I mean, without a doubt, is something that we can't overlook. The other thing is all the hot sun that we have around here. Why have we not harnessed the solar bit that much more? And that is something that also is ongoing. And other areas, you know, of just, I think, you know, I always tell people, come on down to BTVI. If you're in New Providence, you're in Grand Bahama, or any of those other islands, come see what's behind those walls. You will be surprised the technology that's being utilized every day in instruction.
What I love about it is you don't have to commit yourself to a degree program to start. You may end up saying, I can't leave here without a degree, guys, but you can take that first step in without a long-term commitment.
Yeah, we have special interest programs in my department, most departments, and you come in for 10 weeks. 10 weeks, see how you feel, see if it's something that you want to commit a little further to, and then you can take one of the main course programs. But in terms of AI, you know, AI is being used and designed to the point where we're having workshops and seminars about our fashion designers, are the human, you know, are we even needed in fashion, because you can create an entire collection via using AI. So there's some interesting tools. There's some equipment that we're looking to get, laser pattern making equipment and scanners and you know, clothing that can walk without the body, that you can showcase and display without the body. There's so many things.
Clothing that becomes a tool for people with mobility issues, right? So we have those. It has the jumpsuit has a brace in it that assists the person with maintaining their center of gravity as they walk forward. Those are the exciting things. And say, Avi, don't worry. AI can't figure out black shoes, black shirt, hiding all inside the inspector looking for me.
The thing, you mentioned such an amazing point there, because even as you embrace these technologies, they're built upon the same fundamentals and foundation. And that's one thing that I think is so important about BTVI. You know, my area of specialty is media technology. And we encourage our students to come in and do whatever it is that they desire as they use technology to communicate. But we're firm about the fundamentals that they should have in order to ensure that what they do is responsible, it's impactful, it does all of these things, and they understand that, hey, this thing didn't just start today. Like, we've been doing this in various iterations throughout the process of time, but at the end of the day, here we are, right? And we're using the technology to advance and make the world a smaller place. You know, congratulations to what you do every day. You bridge the Bahamas with the world. I'm sure you have listeners all over the world that tune in to hear the way you deliver what it is. And we thank you for that, because that is what connects us. And people now know about Bahamians and the way we do things because of what you do every day, right? But it's through the use of technology that we do that. But I'm sure you mentioned the code, and I smiled earlier. People don't realize that this thing is governed by something, but we teach that too at BTVI.
Yeah.
Because you have to know that what it is that you do, no matter what it is that you do, there is a rubric or a framework that you work in for the betterment of our society.
And that's one of the foundations of vocational training.
Absolutely.
Of the occupational space, right? Every space is governed by a set of regulations.
Policies.
You
Yeah.
understand that, and then you can fly and expand the space once you understand the route.
And I tell my students, break all the rules, but tell me why you broke them and what your intention was in doing so, right? We deal with video production. I said, if you bring me some video where the shot is upside down and shaking, and you say to me, look, Ms. Coakley, I was trying to convey that, things were just out of sorts that day.
Yeah.
I said, you could get me, but you got to know
Storytelling,
why
yeah.
you did that.
Storytelling is in everything, and I think it's important to talk. So I'm thinking now, because of your suggestion and your idea with AI and technology, clothing technology, it's like we need to talk. Like our students need to talk, our design students and your electronics and media students need to talk, because you'll be surprised what comes out of that conversation, design-wise, or there's so
But I mean,
much to be done.
Right, because we have a problem. It's sharks. Now, sharks aren't the problem. It's the sharks don't really distinguish between humans and other animals.
That's
It's the
right.
problem, right? But what if you got students who could design scuba suits that somehow deter sharks and large apexy boys in the water
Right.
from your suit? I mean, like, this is something that will benefit the country, because the tourists want to come, and the tourists mad at us, they mad at the sharks, and we just like, man, look, this is what sharks do.
And there is no reason why that couldn't happen right here.
Right.
No reason.
I want you all to know, I was in the Far Field Station, Massey, in 1990, and I was with the instructor, and we went through the hole in the reef. And I looking at the instructor, and he looking at me in a way that suggested to me,
Something coming.
you look back while you swimming forward, right? It was a big barracuda back there. And because the barracuda is looking for shiny things, right? Like, can we develop a type of material that's waterproof to be used in the ocean that does not attract or that actually repels these fish
I'm
with
sure
teeth?
there are textile that have, to protect you from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
They make swimsuits from it and on all these things. So there's so much that we can do that we've just touched the surface, and in some cases we haven't scratched the surface.
And I want to say this to people who are out there, like, man, I got a thinking brain. I'm always innovating, but there's something beautiful about the collection, the amalgamate, having all of these people who are thinking and who are passionate about thinking and working in one place. The magic just multiplies. So consider engaging in institutional learning, even though you're out there on your own, always learning. Producer, let's prep the caller. Caller, you're going to be the last caller of the day, and then I get at least one text here. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am good, thank you.
Fantastic. Listen, I'm calling. I'm not calling to bash BTVI at all. I'm only letting you know that I'm in the blue collar industry, and I've tried to hire 1,000 times for BTVI, to the point where I went in and tried to help BTVI with the particular field that I work in, to work on just changing their curriculum. With certain things, BTVI to me needs to be an institution where young men and women go in. They get a degree in whatever they're doing, but when they leave school, they can be hired. They need to be able to go out there and go into the field and make money. And too many of the courses are not set up that way, and it's unfortunate. And like I said, I've exhausted resources there. I tried to help out, but I feel like I was just pushing, and nothing was happening. And I basically just gave up on it, because it was a losing battle. But for me, when you go out onto all of these local job sites here, Abaco or Loughra, and you see the amount of foreigners that are working in our country, and I think to myself, man, there's so much money. Just if you're a painter in the Bahamas, if you're a good painter, I could teach somebody how to paint in 3 months, be the best painter. And these guys are making $20, $25 an hour. That's a livable wage. You can grow a family with these type of figures.
Okay.
And it's very unfortunate that we're not pumping these people out of BTVI. It's very unfortunate.
All right, so we're looking at a transitional space, right? Like, because from our earlier discussion, right, when we were talking about entry requirements for the force, the key thing we need to understand is people learn differently. Bahamians in particular, lots of us learn differently, right? And so for some people, they're able to go to these courses and leave and walk straight onto a job, right? For some people, they need a little bit more time, right? Father Thompson said you don't become a man until you turn 40, and Bradley Roberts say you don't become a man until you become 60. And I think what Bradley Roberts meant is you don't understand the fullness of manhood until you turn 60, right? And for some of our young people, they are going to learn on the job, and you got to be patient with them. And I appreciate you want to take people right in, but it means that some of our working spaces have to have a probation period that understands the need to acculturate the worker fully to the working environment, right? In the same way we can be patient with the police because they do a valuable job and we want to show them we value them and want to help them grow their skill set, straight across the board. Straight across the board, row. No rowing without hugging. You must row, but you must have support to show them, as soon as I finish rowing you, we're going to walk this walk together, right? BTVI, I'm excited. The road to 77 campuses, a whole bunch of new ideas. I come in to make my Go Smooth suit. If you hear me say I go into space, or if my name is Aisha Bo, I go in on a Go Smooth. Who could check me in space? Who know what I do?
Oh, in your suit?
There you go, in my suit. I'm looking for my coconut cloth dress. I'm looking for my retractable Junkanoo heels, right? So I could go straight from the boardroom to Bay Street.
That's right, as we all should.
As we all should. Ladies, Miss Burrows, Miss Coakley, it was my pleasure hosting you. BTVI has to come back.
We will.
Please and thank you. Bring me a little sample of my dress I can put on the next time I wear a dress. This has been a pleasure. Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry, Javago Lang, and Z Nation is up next.